it was. Still can't believe it. It was really amazing to visit the moon. We need to thank Mr. Hopster for this wonderful experience. I overheard someone say my name. What is this about? Good morning, Mr. Hopster. It's nice to see you. We wanted to thank you for the visit to the moon. No problem, duckies. I had great fun too. Mr. Hopster, I wanted to ask you something about the moon. Why does the moon change in size? Aha! That's a wonderful question. The moon changes in size every day, though you may not notice it. When the moon grows in size, we call it as waxing of the moon, and when it becomes smaller, we call it as waning of the moon. But some days we can't see any part of the moon in the sky. Yes, that's true. That's called new moon, though there is no moon in the sky. Mr. Hopster, can you tell us why these things happen? Sure, my dear cutie pie. I can explain everything to you. Thank you, Mr. Hopster. Okay, first thing I want you to know is that the moon actually revolves around the Earth in a fixed orbit. Second thing is, the moon doesn't have any light of its own. It only reflects sun's light. Oh, really? Yes. So, based on which side of the moon receives the sunlight and which side is visible to the Earth, we see different sizes of the moon. These are called phases of the moon. Mr. Hopster, this is getting complicated. Can you make it simple? I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'll make it easier for you to understand. Okay, look at the sun, Earth, and the moon. The moon orbits around the Earth, and based on the position in the orbit, it will receive sun's light at different angles and sides. In some positions, the Earth will see the entire moon, which is called full moon. And in some other positions of the moon in its orbit, the Earth doesn't see the moon at all. This is called new moon. Let's start with this position. Here we see that the moon is in a straight line exactly between the sun and the Earth. Here the moon will receive the light from the sun, but the Earth will not see it, because the half of the moon that the Earth is able to see does not receive any light at all. So in this position, the Earth will not see any part of the moon and it will look completely invisible. This is called the new moon. Let's see what happens when the moon starts moving around the Earth. Now you can see that some part of the moon which receives the light is visible, and so it will be partially visible to the Earth. This partial moon is known as the crescent moon. Since it's growing in size, we call it as waxing crescent moon. When the moon keeps growing in size, we call it as waxing. So this is called waxing crescent moon. Crescent moon refers to a size smaller than half of the moon. At this point, half of the moon will be visible from the Earth. We call this as first quarter moon, because the moon has traveled 1/4 of its orbit. Let me say it again. This is called first quarter moon. Now, more than half of the moon will be visible from the Earth. When it exceeds half the size of the moon, it's called gibbous. Since the moon has been growing in size, this moon phase is called waxing gibbous moon. Again, this is called waxing gibbous moon. At this point in time, the complete moon is visible. This is called full moon. The sunlight falls on the side which is visible to the Earth entirely, and hence the whole moon is visible. Again, this is called full moon. Now we see more than half of the moon, but it is not the whole moon. This is called waning gibbous moon, since we can see more than half of the moon. When the moon keeps reducing in size, we call it as waning. Again, this is called waning gibbous moon. We can now see half of the moon. This phase is called third quarter moon because the moon has covered 3/4 of its orbit. So the phase is called third quarter moon. Now the moon is seen as a crescent again, which means less than half of the moon is visible. So this is called waning crescent moon. Again, this is called waning crescent moon. We are back where we started, and it's new moon again, where the moon is totally not visible. Let me show you just the 8 phases of the moon. Look at this one. This is new moon phase. This moon phase is called waxing crescent phase. This phase of the moon is called first quarter phase. This phase of the moon is called waxing gibbous phase. This moon is called full moon. This moon is called waning gibbous phase. This phase of the moon is called third quarter phase. This phase of the moon is called waning crescent phase. Those are the 8 phases of the moon. Wow, that was awesome! Thank you very much, duckies. See you again.
Let's recall!
Hi, this is Rhea. Welcome everyone. We saw the ducklings learn about the 8 different phases of the moon. Let's see if you can recall them. When the moon is totally not visible, what do we call that phase of the moon? Is it called invisible moon? Or is it called new moon? Or is it called full moon? Yes, if the moon is completely invisible, we call it as new moon. Let's take a look.
Here the moon will receive the light from the sun, but the earth will not see it, because the half of the moon that the earth is able to see does not receive any light at all. So in this position, the earth will not see any part of the moon and it will look completely invisible. This is called the new moon.
Let's see another one. When we see a moon between half and full, while it is still growing in size, what do we call that moon? Take a look at the 3 boxes below. Can you tell me which one it is? Is it waning gibbous moon? Or is it waxing crescent moon? Or is it waxing gibbous moon? Yes, when the moon is in between half and full, it is called a gibbous moon. If it's still growing, it's called a waxing gibbous moon. Let's take a look.
Now, more than half of the moon will be visible from the earth. When it exceeds half the size of the moon, it's called gibbous. Since the moon has been growing in size, this moon phase is called waxing gibbous moon.
That's all, folks. Have a nice day.